fish. All right, and that's why we do it, guys. I don't think the boat's even moved since I just got done telling you why we do it. And here's another one. And this one's probably a legal keeper, at least, if I was in a derby. And it's not as big as the last one, of course, but we're just gonna swing them in here gently with that jerk bait. You gotta be careful with all these hooks. But there's a perfect largemouth, in case you guys are curious why we throw jerk baits around pole timber. Now you know. And this chrome hit stick, I'll show it to you in a second, it is beat up. Mwah! Perfect Kansas largemouth. See ya. This bait is all beat up. This bait has been around the block. This exact bait right here caught an 11-pound walleye. It's caught a pile of fish. You can see the chrome's beat up on it. I've got it on a 20-pound Trident 100% fluorocarbon leader. I don't need pansy line. I want nice heavy line right here, and I've got 20-pound braid and 20-pound leader. So yeah, I'm on a spinning rod, but it's a medium heavy spinning rod, and it's got plenty of power for what we're doing. I mess around and catch a 6-pound smallmouth, that'll really be a rodeo. The other thing I'll throw out there, guys, is that I've got a plug retriever right here in the boat. So if I hang this jerk bait, which I've already done repeatedly and I've got it off okay, but if I do hang it on a deep log or something like that, I'll get it with the plug retriever. So as long as I can get to the boat, get the boat to it, then I will. But I have said a million times, if you're afraid to snag or lose something, don't throw it. And the only reason to own a big old jerk bait like this is to catch fish with it, and those fish are in the trees, then so be it. But I guarantee you, this pocket got fished like crazy the last 2 days. The boat ramp's right there. So there's no way those guys didn't pound this pocket. There was a 20-boat tournament that went out of that boat ramp, and I guarantee you none of those guys were throwing jerk baits through the pole timber, and that's part of the whole deal as well. I bet you spinner baits went all through here. I'm sure there was all sorts of crankbaits and spinner baits and probably soft stick worms and everything else. But I wouldn't bet anybody was throwing a high-speed erratic jerkbait through here. And we're looking for the big ones. I'm not looking for average fish. So the only way to get a big one is to try something a little different. And this one's still not a big one like the last one, but look at there, boys. We're gonna have us a limit before the boat even moves, and the boat ramp's right there. And I also want to point out this. We were late getting going this morning, guys, just to be honest with you. And I got out and ran the lake and ran up the other end. And I'm like, all stuff I've ever fished here before is literally bone dry. And I had looked at this on the way out, and the biologist had told me that there's plenty of fish in this creek arm. Another perfect one, a little skinny there. And these guys are all post-spawn. We'll kiss that one too. Mwah! We're gonna kiss all these guys. But I looked around, I'm like, nothing looks any better than right there at the ramp. So I turned around, came right back here, a 5-minute boat ride, came right back here, and now we're up to 6 and we haven't left. Whee! Okay. Just be patient with your throws. I want to point out that one I just caught, since we were rolling for that whole thing, if you notice, I probably looked discombobulated for a minute. Fish came right at me. I went to jerk it like 3 times and it just didn't come tight. Well, if it doesn't come tight, somebody's got it and is moving to you. So once I felt that figured out, and I'm like, oh, okay, well. And the other part of the hit stick, as opposed to something like a stunner, which I could be throwing a Berkley stunner or something like that very easily, the reason the hit stick is it floats. And so if I do pause it out, even with that big fluorocarbon leader, it'll float up. So if I feel it hit something like a big old log underwater that's horizontal, I can let it float out, and it's not an issue for me. So that's another reason to throw it, and always on the Revo Rocket, because speed, just getting line tight on fish in a hurry. Particularly in this timber, the drag's on very tight. You cannot give these fish a chance to move around. I've already been wrapped once today, and you can't give them a chance to move. When you set them, you got to go. And some people say, oh, well, it's going to pull the trebles. Well, maybe, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I've not had that be a significant issue ever. And you're always going to lose some fish with any bait fishing around the timber. Oh, ho, ho. Ooh, that might have been a bite. I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was.